you. Welcome. It is the Joe Pags Show. Great radio stations across the land. Newsmax TV, joepags.com for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email. It's all right there. Make sure you stop by. Love to have you follow the show on Twitter or like the page on Facebook. Certainly appreciate you. We update links all the time there. Make sure you stop by. So Wikileaks with another dump, and they're going to continue to dump. I guess today they had something of a dump of President Obama's emails. I mean, wow. They've also got stuff on Uma Abedin now. They've got John Podesta's daughter, I guess, is the one who got his 75,000 shares in some Russian, corporation or company. I mean, come on, man. I mean, this stuff that's coming out, it just doesn't even make any sense. But do you have the story of the internet going down, though? And let me ask you this. Were you affected by it? Because I had no idea the internet went down. My internet was fine this morning.
Well, yeah, because I got here and we have to tweet, for the WOAI page.
Right.
And I could not get on. I kept going, what is going on? And I went to Brian and asked. He said, yeah, the whole thing's down because we were affected by it. So.
Do we know what caused it? I mean, from what I understand, Reddit, the people were freaking out. I mean,
Netflix.
Everybody
this thing
freaked
was
out.
Huge. Yeah, I don't think they know just yet, but apparently there was 3 cyber attacks that happened today.
And those cyber attacks, I mean, there are some people, and again, I don't know about these news sources, but some people are saying this was somehow a trial run to see if they could take down our internet.
Yeah. Well, today they did a good job. I have a story though, if you'd like.
Yeah, do me a favor. Give me the story. Give me a nice overview, and then I'll ask a similar question that I asked about in Living Color. I mean, think about it. Not 30 years ago, or even 25 years ago, we just didn't care. We didn't care about the internet, and we were fine as a country. But now it seems as though we're so completely reliant on it that we're screwed if something happens. All right, go ahead.
From NBC by Berkeley Loveless, internet traffic company Dyn on Friday warned a 3rd cyber attack is currently ongoing, hours after websites and services across the East Coast were initially shut down. Dyn told CNBC Friday afternoon the attacks are well planned and executed, coming from tens of millions of IP addresses at the same time. A senior U.S. intelligence official told NBC News the current assessment is that this is a classic case of internet vandalism. The official said it does not appear at this point to be any kind of state-sponsored or directed attack. Impossible to say how long it'll take to say who's responsible, the official added. And Dyn told CNBC that one of the sources of the attacks coming from devices known as the Internet of Things devices, such as DVRs, printers, and appliances connected to the internet. The company said in a conference call Friday afternoon the attack was being waged from devices infected with a malware code that was released on the web in recent weeks. And Dyn said it has not heard from attackers and does not know who they are.
So nobody's taking any sort of credit for this, no responsibility for this?
No, not right now.
And if I'm hearing what you said correctly, this affected directly like appliances that are on the internet?
Right, and printers. And we're talking about websites like Amazon, Twitter, Spotify, all shut down for hours this morning.
Wow.
Netflix, even PayPal later in the day, too.
Wow. I mean, that's scary stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary stuff because we do so much of what we do online now.
Exactly.
I mean, think about that. Just, was it 20 years ago? 25 years ago? You might have had an email address. You might have had a CompuServe or a Prodigy or an AOL email address. Maybe you had something like that. But I mean, before that, we were perfectly fine without it. Now, the internet, from what I understand, and I'm willing to be corrected on this, but from what I understand, it was something that was started by us. And no, I know Al Gore did not start the internet.
Al Gore didn't?
No.
Oh, okay.
And it was in 1968, and it was a way to connect computers, and from what I understand, it was a Defense Department thing. Connected computers sort of to keep, the information stored, safe, and connected, while also secured and away from other people. Now it's so broad and so vast. And, oh, by the way, what is it, a week after Obama gave the internet away, the whole ICANN thing? Now suddenly people are testing to see if they could take us offline.
Yeah.
I mean,
did a good job today.
We're so incredibly reliant on it. So, again, did we just get lucky by surviving for so long without the internet, without cell phones, without computers and devices? I mean, quite honestly, this broadcast doesn't happen without the internet today. It's true. I mean, the vehicle by which we're getting the broadcast to you, to many people who are listening and who are watching, is via the internet. So, I mean, I like the internet. Don't misunderstand me. I like the internet. I like the possibilities. I like the resource that it is. But I also know that there's a dark underbelly, and again, we found out quite directly here in the Pags family a couple of months ago how the internet can be used for bad. There's all sorts of sites out there you never want your kids to go and see. And there are bad guys on there who are connected to you that otherwise would never, ever have the ability to be connected to you. So sort of another angle to this. And also I'm going to have Donna Brazil being questioned by, was it by the Young Turks?
I believe so. Yeah, that's what we were talking about during the break.
I mean, the Young Turks is a far left-wing liberal progressive group. This Sink Unger, whatever the hell his name is. I mean, I did a pilot with him at CNN, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. And the guy screamed at me the whole. First of all, I had to stand in a box because he wasn't very tall, and then he screamed at me the whole time. And the topic was those who were questioning whether Obama was born in the United States. And he, never ever has there ever been a Republican who's ever questioned. I said, A, I don't know why you're yelling at me. Doesn't make any sense. And B, John McCain. They questioned him. Well, besides him. And I was like, who is this guy? It's very strange. So I guess his organization, the Young Turks, they went and put a microphone in Donna Brazil's face, which is very odd to me. I actually am I'm happily surprised that they did. And we'll have that back and forth in a second. Let me go to the phone lines in the meantime, though. Let me say hello and welcome to Bob, who's in San Antonio. Hi, Bob. What's going on?
Fine. Thanks. Take a call.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about your dog, man.
Thank you.
I had a golden retriever. I had for almost 11 years. I found her on the street when she passed away, and I'm still not over it.
I hear you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. In regards to would we be better off? No, we're not better off. You imagine making a remake of Blazing Saddles today?
No, they couldn't. It could not
That's
be
right.
done. Go and watch Blazing Saddles, and our youth today will cringe, and they'll need a safe space. They'll need a counselor.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I was at a restaurant today, and I had a Trump badge, and I was coming back to the counter, and one of the ladies behind the counter, Mexican American, said, "Hey, where'd you get your Trump badge from?" And so I got it from a store somewhere, and I told her where it was. So I tell you what, I got two of them in the car. I go get them for you. So I brought them back in, gave them to them. So I guess there's two ladies there going to be voting for Trump.
I wonder if the boss is going to hear complaints and make him take it off.
No, they're the owners. So.
Oh, well, cool. Well, that's awesome. I love that. Bob, thank you. You know, of course, we've got a huge Hispanic community in San Antonio, a huge Mexican-American community in San Antonio, huge. But the idea that Hillary Clinton or the Democrats think that they somehow owned that vote, dude, I live in a majority-minority city and state. And I'm telling you, she cannot rest assured that she has that vote. Maybe on the large levels like MALDEF and LULAC and La Raza and all these racist organizations, maybe on that level, you know, she has their support, and I know that she does. But on the average everyday level, not so much. Hey, Carrie, are you finding that too with your friends and your neighbors that maybe you shouldn't take it for granted that somebody's Latin in ethnicity, they're going to vote for Hillary?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's not like it was, years ago.
Right. I mean, honest to goodness, come to Texas, go to Arizona, go to New Mexico, go to California, go near where the border is and ask people who are of Hispanic descent, who are American citizens or who are legally here if they want a wall. They do. Ask them if they want illegal immigrants to keep coming in. They don't. Ask them if they want illegal immigrants to have a path to citizenship. They don't. So the assumption that they do is not true. Now, are there plenty that do? Yeah. But there are plenty that don't. And I think counting that vote before the election is a bad thing to do. Let me give you the Donna Brazil back and forth. Donna Brazil is the chairwoman now, the chairman of the DNC, the Democratic National Committee. And she was the vice chair, I believe, when the question was, there was an email that she sent to Podesta or somebody. I think it was Podesta. Yeah, I'm sure it was. That she sometimes gets the questions beforehand. And the allegation is that Roland Martin gave her the question about the death penalty, and that she then forwarded it to the campaign. Well, this Young Turks guy, I don't know who the hell it is, some reporter, Jordan Chariton, something like that. This is the back and forth. It's pretty good.
Donna, do you owe the voters an apology for passing a question for a town hall off to the Hillary Clinton campaign?
Sir, you know what? I wish when you got your facts, you read the emails, and
I did read a lot of them.
Well, you clearly did not read my email, sir. The Democratic National Committee, as Secretary Clinton alluded to tonight, was a victim of a cybercrime.
You see that? And he stays on her, which is I'm going to keep playing it. They were a victim of a cybercrime. Somebody broke in, stole their email, so any information you learned from the stolen emails is invalid and you're not allowed to ask me about it. He continues.
Saying that, but the email was that you passed it along.
Private emails were stolen from individuals
Right.
that had no right being trafficked in the public sphere.
We've heard this, but what about you passing a question to Hillary Clinton's campaign, the town hall before?
Trump badger women, you're welcome.
Yes, a journalist asking a question is badgering you.
If you want to be like Donald Trump and badger women, you're welcome to. Do you hear what's happening here?
Wow.
She's now the victim. The other night with Megyn Kelly, she was the victim because she's Christian. She's being persecuted. Now she's a victim because she's a woman. By the way, Donna Brazile is about 6 inches taller than this guy. She's not in fear of this guy. Let me just make that clear.
Yes.
You've said it on Russia.
Sir?
You passed the question. Jake Tapper has also said you passed the question. Do you have anything to say about that?
Questions as a contributor to CNN.
Well, first of all, let me answer the question, because as much as I respected journalists all my political life, and I will respond to questions, as I've stated repeatedly, that the Democratic Party was a victim of a cybercrime.
Wow.
And I don't peddle in
Wow.
what I call the illegal dumping of private emails.
Did you write the email? Just answer the question. It's not that freaking hard. Carrie, you notice that she won't say it wasn't my email and I didn't write the email, because if she does
Right.
that, now she's a liar. So she can't say those things. She has to keep diverting.
In the public sphere that have been altered, that have been, in many cases, readapted. And so, as I've stated repeatedly, and I'll state it again for the record, I have never been privileged, as long as I've been not just a part of CNN, which, let me just say how proud I am to have been a contributor for CNN and other news outlets. And no one has ever shared questions with any of us involved in CNN as...
Do you have proof that it was Russia? Do you have proof that it was Russia?
Nobody's ever shared emails with us. The other night with Fox News, with Megyn Kelly, who she thought was named Kelly somebody. She kept calling her Kelly. The other night, she said, I didn't get the question from CNN. No, the question came from TV One or whatever it is that Roland calls his network. It came from that network and to her, and the email actually lays out the question almost exactly as it was asked at the town hall, where Hillary Clinton had a great answer to a question she wasn't supposed to know was coming. So, look, again, I don't know why the Young Turks are doing actual journalism, but I applaud them for that one thing. Now, it's not Cenk Unger, because we would have been yelling at her by now. But whoever this guy is that works with them, kudos to him. 1-800-383-9624, joepags.com. A lot of people want to be heard on a Free Speech Friday. A lot of topics I threw against the wall there. Plus, I've got a couple of people that are missing that I want to outline when we come back, as I promised I would do after we went through our crisis in my family, right here on the Joe Pags Show.